That's a pretty cool shirt you got. Want me to sign it?
Hello, welcome back. It's time to listen to Mom. The first portion of the review is going to be non-spoiler, but at the end, we're going to talk about the ending and explain it. So I recently have been catching up on the first Smile and was able to get right into the second one with no delay. So I'm able to give a really strong review and let you know if this film truly is better. Now before I make this claim, I have not seen the other horror film that's been released here in 2024 called The Substance, which I also have heard is amazing, like mind-blowing. But that's just from word of mouth. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll have to deep dive into that. But without watching that, I have to say, for me personally, this is hands down one of the best horror films that I have seen in quite some time. But I can confidently say of 2024. And I have seen Alien Romulus. Now also, if you enjoy this channel, we're still new, so I would very much appreciate if you left a like, show your support, and subscribe. So now let's deep dive. I want to point out just some things that are non-spoiler here that are great about this movie. 1. The jump scares. The movie does a quality job of providing lots of tension building, but I would say a few, do feel kind of cheap, but it falls in line with the theme of the first film, so it's not out of the norm. I thought at some point I would be tired of the constant, oh, jump scare, but they do a great job of just adding variety and making sure they build with silence and that they're justified, because this is the entity that is truly haunting Skye. So I'd say kudos, really great job. Which also leads to the second point here, which is the creativity around the scares and the fear. Not everything is a jump scare, but I did appreciate in this film just how creative it was building to certain moments, such as the silence, such as just creepy moments, and the creativity behind it and some of the reveals. And there was one moment that just stuck with me. It's how people were kind of stacked on top of each other, kind of reminding me of the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. It was really interesting. Some will definitely sit with me for quite a while. It wasn't just because of the gore. It does have that as well. It does take it up a notch, but some of the fear tactics were just phenomenal. Wow. I cannot praise just how refreshing this film felt. I'm stuttering and stammering. It's really good. It starts off strong and then it just continues onwards. It's really great. We'll talk about some of the negatives a little later, but number 3, Naomi Scott's acting, wow, really brilliant. I love her acting in the film. It's just how invested she was. She really sells the movie. I wish there was more provided at the Oscars for horror films as a genre, because her range is just amazing. You felt the isolation, you felt the fear, you felt her fighting, the trauma, the struggles, and it leads to point number 4, the twists and turns. It's not just all straightforward. There's a lot of great reveals and what's in her head, what's not. And that doesn't spoil too much because that's pretty much the first film as well. It's very much the theme. It's just a constant, it's not a repetition either. It's got its own story, it's got its own trauma, and the demon overall is a lot stronger this go around. Everything is just done better. I mean, everything. I would say the second one is superior in just in every which way. Now let's talk about what the downsides are here, is that the first 20 minutes after the strong opening are just slower. But when it kept going, I mean, wow, towards the end, it just did not let up. So this build-up of understanding your character, it wasn't even slow. I just am nitpicking because there was some truly gruesome moments that happened. I just was like, okay, I know this. And it could be because I just saw the first Smile, so there's also that. But we start things with such a great bang. We learn about the new character, and to be fair, lots happen. I'm just nitpicking. I have to say this is just one to see in theaters. The film is very loud because of jump scares. It does get really quiet, then gets really loud. It's great at building tension. So if you're prone to headaches, it's probably not going to be for you. It's not for the light of heart either. We're covering some really deep-rooted topics, and I mean, if you want to learn more, I have a link down in the description down below where we explain the Smile franchise. And yeah, it's just not light. It's a modern-day Ring. I'd even say it's better than The Ring. Wow, this is going to stick with people for quite some time. And I know I haven't seen The Substance, but I can't praise this enough. It's a lot of fun. I was really, really impressed. I was trying to find reasons to not like it, but then I couldn't really come up with any. So now, spoilers. Let's discuss that ending, shall we? So now we see the entity has pretty much warped Skye's mind, but at some point the movie on what is real and what isn't has completely shifted, which is some of the twists and turns of some of the characters that, like her best friend, that moment there, just like, wow, huh. Because of her trauma from the accident so recent, the demon is able to really take over, and it just seems that each victim it seems like it's gained more power. We're not dealing with a doctor from the prior movie who has more knowledge to fight this. We're truly seeing somebody who's vulnerable, and this thing has a lot of power. The interesting part of this movie is that when she passes it on and she unfortunately unalives herself in front of millions who are watching her concert, is this a pandemic now? I mean, this is an ongoing question. Is like, now, is it just going to affect one host at a time, or does it have the connection just to go nonstop? Can it do it all at once? Because I mean, now we're looking at like a pandemic, an epidemic on a larger scale, and this is my concern: is that, man, what is going to happen here? It's hard to know if it's going to get ruined because then it's just going to become silly, you know, or does it take it up to the next level and truly frighten us and scare us, having something really take on this type of form. Also, we really have no clue on where Skye's moment of reality did shift, which is also another thing to kind of discuss, because at one point, it was very early on in the film where her friend was there for her, but then everything that happened just didn't actually happen. So it doesn't feel cheap. It feels built up because it shows the power of this entity, but also shows the helplessness. And even though Skye is so famous and has so much notoriety, how much she is powerless against this. So in the next movie, either we're going to see this franchise go up to a whole nother level, be one of the best films we've ever seen, or it's going to fall flat and it's going to suck. Actually, I'm going to be honest here. This is a hot take with not much thought process behind it. I hope it stops here. I think it leaves all the right questions. I think it leaves us wanting more and enough to debate and talk about. I think we go prequel. I think we look at some of the other incidents leading up to this, and then maybe they talk about that it is the end of times because the entity truly wins and takes over. But like, that's for us to interpret, right? Oh man, but it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it if you're a horror film fanatic. I love scary movies, and this one it felt really good. Very, very nice. It was very, very strong. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys all in the next one.